Did the tour of our faculty help repair the inadequacies of your prior education? Perhaps when the tournament is over, you can transfer from Ravenwood to Pigswick and really learn something. I've heard that at Ravenwood, they teach you that the source of all magic is a tree, and it's in the center of your school. How awfully convenient that must be. Do they really expect you to believe such nonsense? At Pigswick Academy, we recognize that the source of all magic is a fountain, not a tree, and it's right here on campus. If you take a look at the fount of magic, you'll see the error of your ways. It's in the center of campus, not far from here. When you're finished, return here and let me know what you've observed. You're a student, so go on, learn something.
You examine the fount of magic. Looks like any other fountain. Something doesn't add up about this place.
Did you notice anything magical about the fount? I mean, surely you saw how it must be the one true source of magic. You know, we heard from Headmaster Ambrose that you were good at solving problems. I have a mind to put that to use. Go and speak with Captain O'Hare outside the gate to Pegasus Place. Tell him I sent you and that you're there to help.
Sorry, no admittance. Pegasus Place is off limits to students and faculty until further notice. Headmistress Crisp sent you. I'm not sure. If you're anything like the students here, I can't see how that will help. Still, if she vouches for you, then who am I to argue? Let me explain the problem and you see what you can do. Pegasus Place has been taken over by a fierce band of goblins. We don't know where they came from, or how to send them back. You'd be doing us a favor if you could jump in and thin the wood goblins' ranks. Make them think twice about staying. Can you go into Pegasus Place and defeat 6 wood goblins, and return to me when you're done? Be careful in there. You certainly sent some of them packing. Things might be a little safer, now that they know not to mess with you. Our head gardener, groundskeeper Vern, is missing. Can you go back into Pegasus Place again and see if he's all right?
Why, hello. What are you doing here? This place isn't safe for students. Wysteria was once wild and overgrown with vines, but we cut them back and made this place a school, Pigswick Academy. I am groundskeeper Vern, head gardener around here. It is my job to know every inch of these streets and parks. These goblins and their hobgoblin overseers are new, arriving just when the tournament was to begin. They're not native to this world of Wysteria, so I would like to know where they came from. Since they arrived, some strange new plants have sprung up on Pegasus Place, and I suspect they're tied to the new visitors. Can you go and collect 3 samples of these strange plants, so I can do some research into their world of origin? Wonderful. I'll compare these to my field journal, Plants of the Spiral, and see what I can learn. With the guards afraid to enter Pegasus Place, the area's undefended. What's the area? Well, it's the stables where we raise Pegasi to be trained as mounts and gifted throughout the spiral. If you're up to it, could you check on Lap and Wingtamer, the stable master of the area? The area's just down the street.
Anyone would come to find me with the goblin horde all around. I don't know who was crazy enough to send a kid into this place, but as far as I'm concerned, any help is welcome. My first concern is for the well-being of the Pegasi under my care. Can you help me see to their feeding? Unfortunately, the goblins came through and stole all of their food. I don't know why, because they don't even eat the stuff. Tell you what, if you want to help, you'll get back 5 bags of Pegasus feed. You'd be a lifesaver. Well, good work. That reminds me of an old joke. What do Pegasi like to eat? Flapjacks! Well, thanks for your help. I'd feel much better, though, if I were able to lock the Ares doors against the goblin horde. I left my keys inside, but they were stolen by the hobgoblins when they ransacked the place. Could you recover the stable keys from the hobgoblin who took them? When you get them, bring them back to me. You've done it. Thanks to you, the area will be secure. When the goblin horde first arrived, I did some scouting to see what was going on. I saw where they came from. The goblins sprung from a magical portal down the street. You should take a look at it and tell groundskeeper Vern.
Those plants you collected for me earlier were listed as native to the world known as Weirwood. If the goblins are coming through a magic portal, then it stands to reason that they are from Weirwood as well. A student from Weirwood came to the tournament. Beatrice Wildwind, I think her name was. Maybe you've met her. Maybe you can ask her if she knows anything about this magic portal. I'd hate to think she was responsible, but best to check.
What's that? A magic portal? From my world? It can't be! From what you describe, the plant is wild viridian. It grows native to Weirwood, where I come from. The goblins like to use it as a seasoning, so they plant it wherever they go. If it's here on Wysteria, it's their doing. A goblin portal is dangerous to meddle with, but I know of an incantation that can close it, never to return. We'll need some ingredients for the incantation, and those can be found in the Merchant Street, here in Pigswick Academy. Here's a list of ingredients. Visit the merchants listed and return to me when you have the items on my list.
Beatrice copies a list of ingredients from her spell book and gives it to you. Some of these items seem a little strange.
A spindle of enchanted thread, spun from fog and spiderweb? I have that right here.
A crystal? Made of the dried tears of a cyclops? Those were on special this week.
Rainbow ink from a sky squid. You're in luck. The shipping from Imperia just came in.
Some adamant metal filings? Sure, I have that laying around. I usually throw it back in the kiln to melt again.
A flask of breath caught from a night gaunt? I'm pretty sure I have one somewhere. You're welcome to it.
There, that should do it. Bad news! I looked in my spell book and I realized I have the ingredients for the ritual, but I don't have the incantation. They should have a copy of it at the library here in Pigswick Academy. Could you go to the library and get it? I think the librarian is named Hugo Chatterley. Tell him it's of utmost importance.
I have a new spell for you, little wizard. Come to the school so I can teach it to you.
An incantation to dispel a goblin portal? That's not exactly the sort of spell we let new students meddle with. That's in the restricted collection. I can only release the incantation with the permission of the headmistress. Speak to Headmistress Crisp and return to me with the permission slip. It's but a formality, but rules are rules.
What's this? I send you to help Captain O'Hare, and the next I hear from you, you're talking about dispelling goblin portals? Very well then. I'm getting a clear picture of how Ambrose runs his school. And believe me, it's not a pretty picture. Take this back to Chatterley and tell him he's to help you to the best of his abilities. Is that all?
Headmistress Crisp hands you a permission slip for you to access the incantations book that you need.
Excellent. I took the liberty of copying the incantation you need while you were speaking with Headmistress Crisp. Use it with caution.
Hugo Chatterley hands you a strip of parchment paper with the incantation written carefully upon it.
Wonderful! I hope it wasn't any trouble. If you're the only one who has permission to enter Pegasus Place, you'll have to perform the incantation yourself. Just take the items you collected from the merchants and the incantation you got from the library and follow the instructions. You should check in with groundskeeper Vern before you do anything. He should know what to expect if it goes badly. Don't worry, you'll be fine. I hope.
You came back? Don't you realize this place is doomed? You brought a means of dispelling the magic portal and all of the ingredients. Let me see that. There is a problem. The final ingredient in the spell requires the soul stone of the leader of the goblin horde. The goblins have spoken fearfully of Lord Graustark. I suspect that whoever he is, he's lurking in the tower down the street. You should go and defeat this Lord Graustark and collect his soul stone, the source of his magic. Only then can you use the incantation to dispel the portal. Return to me when you have done that impossible deed.
Is it time already for my afternoon snack? I don't remember placing an order for Wizard, but you'll do.
This must be the Soul Stone groundskeeper Vern spoke of. You follow the instructions in the incantation, using the items you gathered and the Soul Stone to power it. When you finish the incantation, the magic portal vanishes. No more goblins will come through it.
By the great tree, you've done it! Lord Graustark will trouble this street no longer. You should tell Headmistress Crisp the wonderful news. Be proud of what you've accomplished.
What's that? You've impressed me. Maybe you've been able to learn a thing or two about magic, despite your training. Though your aid in the Pegasus Place matter is appreciated, it will not affect your participation in the tournament. Speaking of, it is time for you to report to Mrs. Dowager. The first round of magical dueling is about to commence.
Why, hello again. I hope you've had a relaxing time settling in. Look at the time. The tournament should commence soon. Oh, but I've yet to give the students copies of the tournament rules. Could you be a dear and help me out? I need you to go give copies of the rules to each of the competitors. Here is one for your own use, and copies for Beatrice Wildwind, Kisai Shugenja, Nalia Dunstrider, and Randolph Spellshine. You can find them all in the student dormitory. Return to me when you've given them their tournament rules.
The tournament rules? Thank you. It'll be great to duel. I can't wait to see what you've got.
Most excellent. I was concerned about the lack of formalities. I will now meditate on the coming duel. Muda's smile upon you.
You have my thanks. It is wise for them to enforce rules to this tournament. Best for the safety of all.
Rules? I don't need any stinking rules. I've got this tournament in the bag.
Thank you. Now that that little matter is out of the way, we can get started. It is what you came here for, after all. Before you compete for the Spiral Cup, there is a time-honored tradition students have when they want good luck for a test. You should go into the tournament hall and knock on the Spiral Cup. It rings like a bell. But now it is time for your first magical duel. Off now, and good luck.